some of the stories making the headlines.
That's right. The back page of the Daily Nation talks about 22 conditions that the Treasury has spelled out as conditions for Adani to get the JKIA lease deal. If you remember, this controversy has been top of the news for about maybe a month now. And Adani Airport Holdings must meet 22 conditions, including absorbing all staff before any deal can be approved. That's according to the CS for Treasury, John Badi, who was appearing before the Senate Committee on Roads, Transportation and Housing yesterday.
And he said that the PPP, that is the Public-Private Committee, also directed the the KAA, Kenya Airport Authority, to ensure that the concessionaire gives preference to Kenyan nationals in all positions during recruitment. Mr. Mbadi told the committee chaired by Kiambu Senator Karungo Thangwa that Adani PIP was approved after clearance by the PPP, that is the Public-Private Partnership. And of course, as we look at that, in his words, he said the PPP Directorate has not approved any stage of the PIP by the Adani Airport Holdings Limited without the approval of the PPP committee.
That's right. So before the deal is signed, there must be cabinet concurrence and clearance on what the scope of the project is. The terms were a 30-year lease, but of course the Law Society of Kenya has gone to court alongside the Kenya Human Rights Commission to petition the lease, to challenge the lease deal. Of course, they've said that the estimated value of 1.85 billion shillings is a lot of money. KAA has also proposed the refurbishment plan for JKIA to modernize the infrastructure, which is part of this whole deal. And this has sparked a lot of public debate. Of course, about a week ago, we saw workers that belong to the Airport Workers Union going on strike because of this deal. One of the initial conditions set out by Adani was that they would review all contracts for all, airport workers, and they would also be able to employ foreign nationals. So they would be able to bring in external workers. I don't know what the exact 22 conditions are because Mr. Mbadi did not spell all of them out, but it would be interesting to know what exactly the 22 conditions are.
And I mean, it's our property, so definitely they need to print out something and actually publish it on paper for us to get to understand what are these 22 conditions. And as we do that, the biggest fear has been the locals losing their jobs. As if that's not enough, even losing control of Africa's biggest hub, that is airport. It's also really something that we need to interrogate before we make such an attempt. If it was just 5 years, I think it would have been an easy stroll, but then 30 years is a long time. Keeping in mind that our airport is the busiest in Africa. Like, people have to
It's not the busiest.
It's one of the
one of
the busiest in
Africa.
Yeah. And as we look at that, maybe South Africa, an airport in South Africa is one of the busiest.
Egypt as well.
Egypt, Nigeria, and maybe Nigeria.
Yeah.
But of course, it's one of Africa's busiest hubs, meaning that we should be making profit out of it, and by developing it, it would actually maybe change our outcomes. I don't know what you have to say about that, but of course we'd like your feedback on the same. What do you think about the 22 conditions? And of course, do you think they should be spelled out clearly so that we get to understand what the conditions are? Right now,